Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Finally, I've been waiting to see Women Talking for months now. It's been quite a while since I've heard talk about it, and it's only got its theatrical release here in Montreal about a week ago. It's one of those films that kept me from finalizing my year-end list for the best films of 2022, and thank God I didn't do that prematurely because this film is simply outstanding. Though the premise of the film is quite simple, it does not lack in any depth whatsoever, and it is quite a harrowing film-going experience. Women Talking is a story about women from an isolated Mennonite colony who, for years, have been drugged and sexually abused by the men from their community. The atrocities are never shown, apart from the shocking aftermath once the women wake up in the morning. Before moving forward, I think it's worth mentioning that this is an adaptation of a novel written by Canadian writer Miriam Toews. Anyway, that book is her reaction through fiction to real-life events in Bolivia, which happened sometime in the period of 2005 to 2009, where 7 men sedated women with animal tranquilizers to then RAPE about 130 women throughout the nights. It is hair-raising to say the least. In essence, the film is about women from a community banding together in an act of fierce, creative female imagination to discuss an important topic and to make a decision. And that decision basically has 3 branching paths. Number 1, do they do nothing and stay where they are? Number 2, do they stay and fight the men from their community? And 3, do they flee and make a new life elsewhere? It's a brutal topic that is given the most thorough exploration through an outstanding script. Every few minutes there's a remarkable statement or a question that is worth quoting and contemplating for days to come. Yet here they are a dime a dozen, all of them coming from varied perspectives, and all of them valid with their own unique points of views and legitimate arguments. Honestly, this could have been a total snooze fest when you consider that the entire film happens within a barn of a bunch of women just talking for 2 hours straight. Yet here, I was hooked from beginning to end. This may very well be the most nuanced discussion I've seen on screen in years. There are no simple black and white perspectives here. It's a truly complicated choice that the women have to make. And regardless which path they take, there are major pros and cons. The debate is rigorous and challenges a lot of the knee-jerk reactions you may have. I just love how everything is explored with such nuance and candor. No stones have been left unturned here. And given just how much of a massive ensemble cast there is in Women Talking, it is simply miraculous that no character feels underwritten or underdeveloped. It's a terribly efficient, honest, and poignant screenplay. Honestly, I'm fully expecting to see an Oscar nomination for Adapted Screenplay next Tuesday on January 24th. Honestly, I don't really care if it wins or not. There's quite the competition, but I would consider it the height of filmmaking crime to not recognize the incredible writing talent in Sarah Polley, who also directed this film. And speaking of the cast, they are all spectacular. It truly is impossible to say which actress is the most standout out of all of them. They all have very meaty roles with incredibly potent questions and opinions that they bring to the table. Sure, some of them may be more humble and soft-spoken than others, whereas others such as Claire Foy and Jessie Buckley show this righteous fury on screen. And then there are others who are somewhere in between both sides of the grayscale. Rooney Mara in particular has this glowing and incandescent smile and personality in her character. There's also a wide range in the age gap. Some of them have barely reached womanhood, whereas a few others are much older women who have a great amount of wisdom and experience to bring to the debate. Though perhaps it is worth taking a moment to applaud Ben Winshaw for a subtle yet passionate performance as the only man who truly gets any screen time in this film. He is a beacon of hope for the future of men and is a valuable source of information and a different perspective within the debate. I absolutely adored how the women would invite him into their circle. Yeah, the chemistry of the entire cast is simply incendiary. I also want to take a moment to highlight a powerful soundtrack done by Hildur Gudnadottir. I hope I pronounced her name right. Anyways, this is the second slam dunk for her in 2022, her last film being Tar, which was a magnificent film. She is quickly becoming one of those promising modern film composers today. And this may be a bit of a tangent, but I didn't know this until recently. She collaborated quite a lot with Johan Johansson with her solo cello work on several Denis Villeneuve films. Films such as Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, and The Revenant, that last one not being a Denis Villeneuve film, but a remarkable film nonetheless. Though I think it's no stretch to say that she is best known for her work in composing the music for Joker, for which she actually won an Oscar for. And beyond the soundtrack, there are some excellent sound design choices taken. I think most notable will be those bells chiming in these haunting and critical moments of the narrative. Lastly, though it is a rather sober filming experience, I find it aesthetically powerful. The sets are simple, and there are just a few locations very much like a theater play, but I was very much immersed, and the costumes go a long way in helping with that as well. But I think the most noteworthy artistic quality for me will be in the bleak cinematography. And for me, it has less to do with the washed out color palette, which I do find effective. But no, rather, I find so many clever and subtle details in the mise en scène. We never see the face of the men in this film, apart from Ben Winshaw, of course, and I think it is so smart at how they handled it. They are always lurking in the shadows, far away in the distance, or if we're seeing them up close, they're hidden behind the wooden boards of a barn, where you can see bits and pieces of them through the cracks of the wood. Or their Stetson hats are lowered, covering their eyes. There's so many small details that go into conveying this sensation of them being this dark phantoms lurking in the shadows, this danger that isn't quite there in front of us, but is lurking not too far away. It creates this incredibly foreboding feeling. And of course, it's impossible not to be deeply moved by this omnipresent camera that's just up above the women when they wake up in the morning. Once again, it is hair-raising stuff and dreadfully effective in the most sickening way. I imagine that this is the film that will fly under most people's radars, if not all people. Part of the reason for its theatrical delay was to avoid releasing at the same time with Avatar, and that's probably a smart idea for them, but I don't think they're faring all that much better anyway. When I went to see the film on opening night, we were just a few in the crowd, and there was even a dog in the crowd, which in my many years of film going experience was breaking new ground. Anyway, Women Talking is one of the striking and nuanced takes on the entire Me Too movement ever put to film. Once again, it could have easily been this boring snooze fest of a rant, but in the hands of a singularly gifted filmmaker and screenwriter, the film is stunningly powerful and engaging. It was an electrifying film-going experience, and certainly one of the best films I've seen in 2022. I am giving Women Talking no lower than a 9 out of 10. It's a spectacular film that I hope will gain some traction with the crowd, especially during awards season. And hopefully this video will help in that regard ever so slightly. In any case, that is all for today. I'm not quite ready yet to finalize my best films of 2022 list, but it is coming. It should be ready in the nearest future. I don't want to rush it, so please be patient. In the meantime, I will probably put out another video or two on top of this one before that is released. In any case, as always, wishing you and your family nothing but the best. Take care and talk to you soon.